Guitar Shop, and today I've got something very cool for you. I have got a Victory V4 the Kraken amplifier. This is basically an amplifier in a pedal format, and before I really dive into it, let me just tell you what we're looking at here, how everything is set up. So I've got a Schecter C6 Pro right over here to do some chugging, and then basically I'm running my guitar into a noise suppressor and a tube screamer, which are in the front of this amp. Then I've got a delay and a reverb in the effects loop, which it has, and I'll tell you more about that in a bit. And I've also got a loop pedal right before me on the ground, and what I'm gonna do with that is I'm gonna play some riffs in a bit, and then I'm gonna loop it, and I'm gonna change the knobs whilst I'm doing that, so that you can really hear how this pedal amp actually performs. And I'm also going to be giving you a comparison between a mic'd up cabinet and the dedicated cabsims that are in here. So I've got a Victory 112 cabinet with a Celestion V30 in it, and it's mic'd up with a high-level microphone, a PR30B actually, and the cabsims are actually the ones that are coming straight with this unit, but I will tell you more about that in just a bit. So this guy, this is it. This is the full size of it. It is really compact, it's lightweight actually, it's really nice. This is all you actually need to bring to a gig to rock out. So what do we have here? Let's just start with the knobs from the right to the left. Basically this guy has two channels. It's got a gain 1 and a gain 2, and a gain 1 is more of a British crunch sound, which also packs quite some gain, and then the gain 2 is a more high gain side of it. So you've got a red LED and a green LED to see on which one you're on. So the, gain 1 is the green LED and gain 2 is the red one. We have on this side, we have the simulator section. So I've got 6 presets right here. So on each of these 6 presets is a cabsim which is modeled by Ruby and Masad. What's actually really cool is that they have worked together with 2 notes, which are familiar from their Captor X, their Torpedo and stuff like that. And you also get full control to really dial in the presets that you like with a dedicated software which you can download free on the 2 Notes website. So you can connect this thing via USB to your computer to model those cabsims even more, and if you want to save them, then you can save them to any of these 6 preset knobs. Then you've got a sim level, which is actually how much level you're sending out through the XLR output into, well, in this case, my interface, or maybe a front of house, anything that you like. Basically, you don't need a cabinet to use this unit if you're playing direct. So you could just have this on your desk at home and have this XLR go straight into your interface and just use that to record your guitar, which is really awesome if you're a bedroom player or you don't want to make too much noise. Then it goes from left to right. You have Master 2 and Master 1. This is basically just the general master knob for each of the channels. So Master 2 once again is for the red channel, Master 1 for the green channel, and then you have the gain for those corresponding channels. Also, you have a 3-band EQ section over here consisting of bass, middle and treble, and there is a digital reverb in here, which you cannot model anymore, but you can add how much you ever like. So what's really cool is that there are actually 4 tubes in here, 4 valves, 4 preamp valves. It's actually an EC900, and it's also, let me just cheat right here, a CV4014. So 3 of those actually. So those 4 combined with a 180 watt Class D power amp section is what's generating your tone. Then let's just have one little look at the back. So I have my guitar running into these two pedals in front of the amp, like you would do normally if you like. Then this is going into the guitar input. Then over here you actually have an effects loop, which you also can find on many other amps. And in that effects loop I am running into a Boss DD200 and then into a Silver Spring reverb by Mad Professor as well. Just in a bit to compare these reverbs maybe a little bit. And then right beside it there is a balanced line out. So you can actually, if you don't want to use the cabsims or speaker simulation that's in here, but you've got your own impulse responses on another device, you can send a direct out to like the front of house or wherever you have that placed to use your own impulse responses on that. And beside that is the speaker output, which is running once again into that 1x12 by Victory. Then there is something else which I think is pretty ingenious. This is also found on the other pedal format, the Duchess by Victory. There's actually a 500 milliamp 9-volt output here to feed your pedals. So the pedals that I've got right in front over here are being fed by this output. So normally you would need like or a one spot or anything with a daisy chain, or you would need like a big power unit from something from like Voodoo Lab or whatever, but this guy is able to send that power straight to your pedals and have them power from there. I think it's really neat. Basically you only need to bring your pedals and your cables for this, and you just power it over here and you don't need anything else to get you going. There's also a fan. I actually had this turned on for like half an hour before I started making the video, and I forgot to turn on the fan, and it did become quite a bit hot, but that's no big deal. I've read about it that maybe it can get hot, but the worst thing that can happen is that if you're running it for a very long time, and I'm talking about a long time, probably more than a rehearsal or a gig, then it might just shut off on its own. It's not like you're gonna damage the unit. It's just wired in a way so that if it gets too hot, it's gonna shut off. But if you want to be sure to prevent it, you gotta turn the fan on. And I could imagine that if you're at home and you're recording something, maybe you've got something else in the room mic'd up, you want to turn it off and you're not going to be having it on like all the time. But if you're doing a show, just to be sure, I would just turn it on. It basically makes no sound or just very inaudible sound. Yeah, and I guess that's basically it. Oh yeah, I forgot almost the XLR output over there. Yeah, let me just check. Yeah, and that's about it. That's everything there is on this guy. So let's listen to a few sounds that this guy can make. I'm gonna start off with just the British styled crunch channel, the gain 1, and I'm gonna start a bit low, and I'm actually gonna put everything at 12 o'clock. And I'm just gradually gonna turn things up and see where we're gonna be ending. So and that's actually Master 1, so the British styled amp, and I've got my gain set at unison. And it's already got quite some gain in it, but let me just check where we can start. It would be... So basically this unit is designed to do for really the rock players out there. It's not going to be like a clean amp and to run your pedals in front of it like that, but it's actually crunchy straight away. So this is the cleanest that you can get. And you can of course play with your volume on your guitar to turn it down if that is what you want and that is what you need. Yeah, let me just turn up this thing a little bit. And then I should turn the right knob. So there is a lot of gain in there, and it's actually quite loud here in this room. And it's not even that loud on this master volume. That does have to do with the cabinet that you're using though. Let me just tell you a little bit about that, because if you're using the full 180 watts and you've got a 4 ohm cab, then you should watch out, because you might be actually blowing it up if you're turning the volume too loud. But those cabinets are not oftenly found. And also if you have an 8 ohm cabinet, then the 180 watts actually becomes a 90 watts. And if you're using a 16 ohm cabinet, then those 90 watts are then divided again, and you end up with 45 watts of power, which is still quite enough for what this guy can pack. So don't worry about that. You are definitely going to be loud enough. Also, you just heard that gain 1. When it's completely turned up, it actually compresses quite a bit. But that does make a lot of sense, and this thing, it sounds, I was actually surprised at how much gain there is on the lesser gain channel, the British style one, but it's still enough to really have a cool lead tone. Let's just switch to the other channel first before I start turning any of the other knobs. So the master is set pretty much the same as the master 1 channel. Let me just turn gain 2 up. So a bit different kind of a sound, but it's still really cool, especially for the heavier kind of stuff. Let me just see how much gain there's actually in this guy. I mean, this is just, I'm actually amazed how good this sounds. My amp that I used to use back in the day, when I used to play in a metal band, did not sound as good as this guy in a pedal format. Once again, I think it's really cool that you can put this in front of you during the show. So if you want to tweak anything to your sound, not only you have to walk up to your amp, turn the knobs over there, go back to the front, but right now you can actually put this on your pedal board and have this everything right here be your pedal board, and that's it. You just run a speaker cable into your cabinet and you have everything right there on the touch of your fingers. Alright, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna play a riff again, and I'm gonna loop that riff, and I'm gonna turn these knobs so that you can hear what it's doing through the guitar signal. Alright, so that gives you a basic idea of the lead channel. Let me just switch back to the gain 1 channel, play a different riff over there, and turn those knobs again. Alright, now I'm gonna do the same thing again. I am gonna be playing a riff and it's gonna be looped, and I'm gonna switch with these cabsim presets. So you're gonna be listening to all these 6 presets that it comes with. Once again, created by Rabia Masad, and it's got the 2 Notes Torpedo software in here. So let me just play a riff. So just as you heard, this thing goes loud, and I'm pretty sure it sounded really cool. I'm obviously not sure because I'm just listening to the cab, so I'm gonna be just as surprised as you guys are, but I'm pretty sure that all of these presets, considering the fact that they came from Rabia, are gonna be killer. And once again, if you want to tweak them or save any of your own presets that you can make with the software, you can save them on any of these 6 channels and have them available to you at all time. So all in all, if you think about it, I think that Victory really made something very special here for all the rock and metal guitarists out there. I hope you've got a general idea of this unit. It can go from cool rock like AC/DC kind of style on the British amp section. It can go to full-on metal on the red channel. And yeah, it comes in at around 800 euros. I must not forget to mention that. But if you think about it, a good amp is not cheap. And this is not just an amp. It's an amp, it's got a cab simulator in there. It also has an effects loop, and which you can well, you can send the XLR out to the front of the house and then still have your normal signal going to your speaker. And also it also has a direct out, which is also nice for recording if you want to do reamping, anything like that. All in all, it's way more than just an amp. And it's in a pedal format. You can take it with you on the fly whenever you like, and it's not that heavy. So yeah, I think they did really good. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Maico for The Guitar Shop, and I hope to see you next time.